excuse the surroundings for this video today. I'm currently sitting beside my bed, which is here, which isn't even made. I haven't even made the bed today. It's been one of those days. I've got the girls with me today, Sophia and Sienna. And for what I wanted to talk about today, I kind of didn't want them to be nearby. So my mum-in-law is downstairs and is looking after them downstairs, and I've escaped up to my bedroom and I'm in a little corner because the rest of it is too messy, which is why I'm not showing you anywhere else in my room because it's a mess. But anyway, the topic I'm wanting to chat about today is it's a little bit of a contentious one, and it's one that I'm a little bit nervous about even doing this video about, but Channel Mum, who I do some vlogs for, it's one of the topics that they are covering this month. So yeah, they are covering the topic of gender disappointment. It's something that actually in my old job as a journalist, I did a bit of research into, and I actually pitched a documentary looking at this sort of idea of gender disappointment, and more specifically what's called gender selection, where people then go on to get pregnant and choose the sex of their baby. It's illegal to have that done in the UK, but it's not illegal in a lot of other countries, including I think quite a lot of the states of America and Greece, and there are clinics in the UK that you can go to sort of have most of your treatment, but the actual part where they choose the embryo of whatever sex is carried out abroad, because it's seen as it's not ethical in the UK. It's done very similar to the way that IVF is done, and generally the baby is completely, unharmed or anything like that, but it is the slippery slope of, designer babies. And so I'm not giving an opinion on that. That's totally up to you. I'm just saying that some of the facts that I looked into, or the research that I did, showed that the number of people that chose to have sort of this gender selection thing in America, one of the clinics I contacted in America for research said that it had increased by 1000% in 10 years, the number of people from Britain alone just travelling. So yeah, I was sort of surprised by just how much now it is becoming, I guess, more of a growing trend. And I guess we live in a culture where we're very like, if you want something, you can buy it generally, and with a baby, that is something that, you just get whatever sex you're given, really. And I must say, part of me, even though I have two girls, if I had a third, which I highly doubt, would there be this idea of, oh, would you like a boy? Would it be nice to have a boy? Yeah, to have two girls and a boy. I guess, if I'm being honest, yes, it would. But do I also think that there's something nice about leaving it to a bit of fate, and there's something in this world that we don't have control over? Yeah, I think, something, it's maybe quite a good thing that there are certain things we don't have control over. Although, speaking of this whole idea of control over your sex, I have heard of a thing called the Shettles Method. Don't know if any of you have heard of the Shettles Method, but it is basically where apparently the day that you conceive can make, and how far away that is from the day of ovulation. So the day you really have sex and how far away that is from the day of you ovulate makes it more likely that I think the closer you are to your ovulation date, the more likely you are to have a boy. The further away you are from your ovulation date, the more likely you are to have a girl. The theory behind it is that boys swim faster, so they get to the egg first, the male sperm does, but they also die off quicker. So if you ovulate later, the girl's sperm, although it's slower, won't have died off. So that's the theory behind it. And there are lots of people who actually swear by it, and it's apparently 85% effective, but then I'm sure there's lots of people that say it doesn't work. We didn't try the Shettles method with either of our girls, but with my second daughter, I was convinced she was a girl because I'd heard of the Shettles method, and because I'd had a scan a few days before I became pregnant, and it showed me that I wasn't ovulating. And anyway, all dates and things like that, I knew the exact date of when I'd fallen pregnant. Because of that, I did think, well, if the Shettles method is true, then I definitely have a girl. And I had a girl, and I kind of always felt I was having a girl, so I don't know, maybe there is some truth in it. But speaking of gender disappointment, from a personal point of view, and actually why I started doing all the research for the documentary, was because when I fell pregnant with Sophia, I was 100% convinced I was having a boy. And it was because from the first scan I thought I saw what's called a nub. People were saying I was craving like a boy, and I don't know why, I was just so convinced it was a boy. Lots of people around me thought, oh, definitely, I think you're definitely having a boy, you're glowing like a boy, it's gonna be a boy. And I didn't have a preference as my first child, I'm quite a girly girl, but I imagined then having a boy, and I had a list of names on my phone and it was all boys, and all I ever thought about was it being a little boy, and I'd planned to call him Jacob, and I just thought boy, boy, boy. And so then whenever I found out it was girl, I remember leaving the hospital feeling a bit, ugh, and I hate even admitting this, I hate saying this because I adore having my girls, but it wasn't that I didn't want a girl, it was just that I was so sure I was having a boy that I'd kind of already imagined my life with a boy and with a son, and what the son would do and what his name would be. And I think it took me like 12 hours or like a day, you know, that day to sort of retrain my mind and go, you're not having a son, don't think blue, stop thinking boys' names, and just then think about girls' names. And I remember going to Blue Water and then going in and buying some little pink Converse, which are so cute, and that was like, I'm having a girl. It just took me a while to just, I guess, readjust my mind. But I think even admitting this, I know there's going to be people that say, oh, that's awful and you shouldn't even say that, but I do know out there's a lot more people, you know, I know a lot of people and friends have said to me, oh, I'd really like this or I'd really like that, or they imagine one thing or another. And I think to an extent it's natural sometimes, but at the same time, yes, to have a healthy and happy baby is the most important thing. And with our second daughter, it took us quite a while to conceive her, and for a number of months I didn't think I'd maybe ever have a second. So we were just so overjoyed to have fallen pregnant. It didn't bother me at all what sex she was. I was over the moon with another girl, like genuinely, I really genuinely was really happy. I think other people were like, oh, another girl, and I think they also thought Andrew was disappointed, you know, because he's a bloke. But actually he honestly genuinely adores our girls, and I've said to him, look, you know, if we had a third and you could be guaranteed a boy, would you go for it? And he said no. He said we've got 2 healthy children, we're so lucky to have that. And he's so right. But yeah, leave any comments below about, you know, did you ever feel a little bit disappointed when you found out the sex? Did you have a preference, or, you know, did you do the Shettles method and did it work? But yeah, let me know and leave any comments below, and yeah, I will chat again to you all very soon. Bye.